about the weather because that's a safe topic.
Okay, you are live now, Mom. We are testing to make sure you have good volume.
Okay. Eileen, can you hear us? Could anybody say if they hear us or they don't?
Kenny, are you hearing her clearly?
I hear. We have to have Greg do it because.
Right. Also, you're hearing her.
Perfect.
Stephen, can you hear her clearly? We are testing.
We're perfect.
Okay. Somebody else say something.
We're good.
We're good. Okay, you start in 2 minutes, Mama.
Okay. Stephen who?
Stephen Schlussel is on.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Stephen, we have to do the photographs for that painting.
And Greg is on.
Greg, thank you.
And Stephen says he misses you.
Well, you won't for long because you'll see me during the week. Shall I keep talking?
You can keep talking. You start officially in a minute.
Okay, then I just want to say one thing.
2 minutes.
I'm getting Newsday on Sundays because I've missed the comics. And in a comic this Sunday, there are two people arguing. This one won't listen to this one, and that one won't listen to that one. And I'm imagining he means the right and the left. And then they pass by a cemetery of the people who died in the wars. And they said, is this what they were fighting for? Is this why they died? And I thought to myself, I love cartoons. I always read all cartoons that I see. But that one really, I would like you to remember. Because we are so many states, and we do not wage war on each other. California and Nebraska don't throw bombs at each other. Okay,
Hey, Mama,
time to
at
begin.
7 o'clock, you are on.
I am on. Okay, first, I would like to tell you about what's on my wall. And that's something I want to read out loud. Okay? Let me begin. It's about one of the most important teachers I have. If I talk a lot about teachers, it's because I've been unusually lucky. Okay? This one was named Hilda Sadikoff. Hilda Sadikoff lived near us in upstate New York. We first met when I walked past the chicken farm owned by her daughter and son-in-law. I had my children with me, Kenny in a stroller, Joni skipping next to me, and when we saw Lizzie and Laurie Mae praying in front of their house, the friendship began as they began to play with each other and lasted for all the years until we moved back to New York, and we still talk about that time and them as if it were yesterday. But what shaped so much of how I see the world and how I portray it in my drawings and paintings happened because Hilda trained me to see the purpose behind my work. I shall call her Vava because that is what her children called her, and so did I. Vava was a brilliant artist, saw how eager I was to learn, and taught me how to see. I showed her a drawing of a tree of which I was so proud. She looked at it and said, "You drew a tree. Now go back and draw the tree." And that is why I draw and paint only real people when I see them. But more than how to draw, she taught me the value of art through her use of it. She and her daughter were interned in a concentration camp during the Hitler time. She told the guards that she would draw them beautiful pictures of angels and Christmas trees if they would give her paper and colored pencils. And she drew these pictures for them and saved her and her daughter's lives in that fashion. Teachers have amazing powers. I've been blessed to have met them not only as teachers, but as friends. When I do portraits, Vava is in back of my mind, guiding the resemblances. Don't draw a tree, draw the tree. Don't paint a person, know that person. Okay? Now we're going to talk about orchard and the house and street. Joni, you have it in front of you. Okay. Let me put my glasses on, because this one is filled with people I love. But I'm going to speak first about the one who is most important to me. Okay? I met these people. You can read the whole thing on my board. The area itself is famous. It has Katz's Delicatessen store, and it has gourmet appetizers, and it has stores from of all kinds. You can read about it. And if you can't read it now on my door, go to my website, okay, and look for painting number 28. No, 29. 28 was last week. Okay? There is somebody, the owner of the painting. Their name was Katz, and I met them in front of Katz's. And they wanted a painting of that area because their last name is also Katz. And in front of the man at the meter, there is a greenish car, and in it is a man named Cecil. Cecil.
On which side, Mom?
In the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle, in front of one of the parking meters. Who was Cecil in my life? Probably one of the biggest guides. Cecil, we met when we were doing counseling at Sing Sing. And we got to know him very well. Joni, our daughter, who at that time was already working in the prison system also as a guide, as a counselor. There was a time when there was some form of a rumor going around about an uprising in the prison. And Joni noticed that whenever she passed something or somebody was standing on the corner watching for her. They knew there was unrest, and Cecil had alerted everybody to guard Joni. Cecil began to work for us when he got out of prison. Eric liked him very much and hired him. And at that time, across the street from Follow Your Art, which was our gallery, our framing store, a wall bounce came. And this was long ago, before rotisserie chickens were sold. And my mother was fascinated by the fact that a chicken can be bought finished in a supermarket. So she came to us with 2 chickens to our store, because it was directly across the street from us. She came to us with 2 chickens, one for Eric and me, and one for Cecil. When she gave Cecil the chicken, he began to cry. And he said, "I'm crying now. In all my life, nobody treated me like the rest of the family and actually brought me a chicken when they got one." I'm not going to talk more about Cecil, except that learn not to judge people. It's what all my work is about. Don't judge. You don't know who people are. To me, Cecil is the moment when he guarded Joni at Sing Sing. And when he said nobody ever in a family brought me a chicken just for me. Okay? The rest of the people you can read about. Okay?
Mom,
They
move
were
a
all-
little sideways so
Okay.
that the sun isn't cutting your
Okay.
face in half. There you
Okay.
go.
Okay. Now let me go to my list. All the people, by the way, in that building, it's one of the most famous streets on the Long Island, on the Lower East Side, because of the food.
Should I put the picture back?
Should he put the... No, that's okay.
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 Mom, would you like me to read who's here and comments?
I'd love it, yes.
Sure. Okay,
Go for it.
I will. Trying to pull it up here. Okay, so Greg is watching, and he says, we hear you. And Stephen Schlessel says, hi, we miss you. I miss you. And Mitch says, hi from Fire Island. And Joe Tripp is watching. And Julie Williams is watching. And Johnny Santana says, beautiful, Hedy, love. And Sandy says, hi, Aunt Hedy, love from Senda in Israel. Kent is once again watching from Sweden.
Wonderful.
Hello, Kent, thank you. Elena Taylor says, what a beautiful story. And Ronnie from Belgium says, big hug. And Martha says, hi, Hedy. And Shirley says, love from upstate New York. And Julie says, love you all.
You know, this is such a miracle. I was speaking to my wonderful nephew, David. He's one of the triplets. And he said something, and it really touched me. He said, do you realize that you've united people with your broadcast? Especially you brought the family from all over the world. We now have the Stroms from Italy. We have Mary Lou. Mary Lou, by the way, the one, what you said about you're one of my branches, if I'm the tree. You really touched me because you are. Your father was my mother's favorite person in Panama. He was her little brother. And Kent, what you have done for me, when you explained exactly how you were able to get my broadcast, you did it so lucidly, so brilliantly. Now I send it to everybody, and they can hear me. I didn't have the correct language for it. But the idea of suddenly we all belong to each other in the most unique way ever. How much time do I have left, Joni?
You've got 19 minutes.
Then I've got to start talking about our tree. Okay? But before that, I have to tell you what I've been learning. And that comes mainly since I read that article about the cells speaking. I am made of billions of cells. They all come from different people, through who I was composed of through the centuries. Because we're all ancient like our tree. We think we're not. And lately I've had a hard time coming to terms with what happened to my appearance. I'm having, and thank you, Kenny, for the speech you gave me last night. Because I suddenly realized that if I insult the way I look, I'm insulting my tree. And I hate the way my skin looks now. I hate the way I walk. But then again, I'm nearly 92, and I don't think 92-year-olds, unless they were born dancers or gymnasts, walk any better than I do. And as for my skin, it's been housing my face for close to 92 years. I have to stop insulting it. So I gave myself a lecture, and I said, I want to live much longer still. I have so much painting I want to do, and I want to tell you about that painting later. But Kenny, you made me think. I'm not going to insult my tree anymore, because I did create all those branches. And those branches have been speaking to me. You, Steve, and are among them Mary Lou, completely. Janine, when you said that now that my eyesight is not so good anymore, and I can't really do resemblances this big, I have to make them bigger. I grew another branch in the tree. Okay, now I want to talk about what I learned, which I'm going to have to remind all of you. There's a young girl at Metro. Metro has been coaching me, physical ed. And she said something to me. She said, Hedy, when I tell you something, you think you hear it, but you have to give it time to register and sink in, because we don't really listen. And I suddenly realized I haven't listened to instructions for so many years. That's why I have problems with the computer, and that's why I was never good at math. That's why I keep forgetting things. And I decided, these remaining years that I have, I'm going to stop. I'm going to learn how to hear. So the first thing I did, I went through my paperwork, and I found out what a mess I made of it. These are the things I didn't deal with. And I'm going to now take 1 hour every day or night and go through my papers and assort them, because I'm writing stories in my mind. Now, I want to talk about the next painting that I'll be doing, okay? Or should I talk about the tree? How much time do I have?
You've got about 15 minutes.
Okay, then I'll just make a very quick sentence about the next painting, okay? I realized that I have been so unbelievably fortunate by people who stepped up during this time of the pandemic and took care of me. Not that I asked for the care, but when I walk with my walker, there's always somebody who opens a door for me. If I drop a package, there's somebody always who picks it up for me. And I realized I am going to, before I stop painting, I'm going to do a large painting of people who have been kind. That's the girl who cleans the wax from my ears. Who is so kind. There are so many kind people, mostly my neighbors. And I'm going to begin, but I have to do it from photographs. And my grandchild, Jessie, is going to take good photographs, because my hands tremble. And if I try to take a photograph, suddenly I end up with 10. and they all show up, and Jesse is going to take care, and he's going to get credit on the painting for being my whatever artistic assistant. And so anyway, I need to talk about that. Now, next week I'm going to tell you about what happened last Sunday, this weekend, when Joni rescued a baby Robin. But for that, I have to take the photos she took, and I'll try to do the drawing during the week and show it to you next week. Now, let me get up and get close to my wonderful tree. Can you see it? Or is the sun hitting it?
There we go.
Does it glow?
No, I moved it.
You did? Okay. I need to explain what I did. A few nights ago, there was a rainstorm with dark, angry-looking clouds. And there is a tree that I can see out of my yard, out of my window. A magnificent tree, but the sky behind it was even more so. It began first with reds over here, and then it rose into golden yellows, and then it came into dark clouds. And what I did was, I thought to myself, if I am the tree, then of course my skin isn't good anymore. If I've been buffed so much, because I did have a stroke and broke my right hip and my right arm. My right arm works. My hip could be a little more graceful, and it isn't. But I'm here, and I'm going to stop complaining when I look into the mirror and blame everything on the light. Because my tree is glorious, because we all are glorious. But what happened in the middle of that night, not the middle of the night, the middle of the evening coming, suddenly there was a golden light right here. An absolute golden light. And the clouds were dark around it. And that light kept expanding and became the moon. Maybe it wasn't the moon. Joni said it was the sun going down. It doesn't matter. But it's what I would like for the world. I have a message for all of you. There's a reason why I paint. And the reason why I'm going to do a painting just of people, the sun is intense, just of people who've helped without knowing that anything would be a reward. It's going to be a painting of the Long Beach Boardwalk. Now, I have to explain my canvases to you. I can't use canvases which are sold in stores because they're made of rough canvas. I have a roll of canvas that I bought many, many years ago, which is like silk. I'm exaggerating. It's not silk, but it's smooth. If you do this kind of a face and there's a bump, it becomes a fat nose. So you have to suddenly, when you discover that bump, change the face on regular canvas. This canvas is going to have bigger features because my eyes aren't so good anymore. But I have that canvas, which I began of a site in Manhattan, which had such marvelous buildings and had an excavation. And when I started it, and when I came back, the area was fenced off, and you couldn't go there because they were going to build some form of a memorial there. So I never went back. But there is this huge canvas. And I need to do it. And that's the one on which I'm going to be painting the people who've been so kind to me. Now, please, if you come and be kind to me now, I can't get you on the canvas because I already have over 100 people. And I need each one to be valuable to the person. Okay? And I have friends who did a few of the limited edition prints that I made. That's those of you who bought the prints from Long Beach will know the quality. And they're going to be making prints if they want to. And not for me, but for their business. And that won't be finished for about a year. And I haven't begun yet. But I will. And I want to, if we have another epidemic, and if all of us do disappear, if we do kill each other, if we become like those stars which are no longer living, let there be a record that we deserve to exist, that we were worth it. And maybe it'll be a record for other people from the right and the left and the in-between and the everything who are so busy hating each other. Maybe that'll be a lesson. And if there are any other comments, I'd love to hear them. I have 6 minutes left.
Should I read them to you?
Yes.
Beautiful. So,
And then, Kenny, wait, before you read them, I would like to ask everyone listening, send me on Facebook or something, a written statement of what you have done to make life better for somebody. I will read them out loud next week and the week after. But let there be proof to me that these broadcasts have meaning for you. Okay, now can you keep reading?
beautiful. Okay, let's see. So, love from Hernan and Christopher. And Julie Williams says, nice to see the sun in Joni's house after all the rain this weekend. And Hardev Mangat says, sending love. And Julie Williams said something very special. She said, we are always hardest on ourselves. Hedy, you are hands down the most beautiful person I know, inside and out. I keep a photo of you in my phone, and I look at your smile whenever I need a dose of beauty and hope. And Lauren Rath said beautiful, and Elena Taylor said what a gorgeous tree, and Julie said your tree is stunning. The reveal of your weekly progress is always so exciting. And Martha Bilski said, beautiful sky, Hedy. Also, you look amazing. Throw out the mirror. And Elena Taylor says, these broadcasts are amazing.
Thank you.
And Eileen says, hi from Cape Cod.
And Jolie just said she has 3 minutes left for me. Well, I would like to tell you a little bit more about what I intend to do with the tree. I need that tree to be on solid ground. At the beginning, I was going to not put roots in. But then again, I want to be on solid ground. I'm identifying so much with the tree. And Janine, I know you are. And so are you, Mary Lou. And I think most of you are. Let's be the tree, and I'll ground it. I don't know yet, but by next week, I'll experiment until the tree looks what it deserves to look like. I did try to put little green bits of shrubbery around it, but it didn't work. I wanted to show the reaching. Two minutes. Then let me again insist. I need to know that you're making the world better. That's what my broadcasts need to do. And I would love to read them out, whatever you say. And just give me a first name. You don't need... And Shirley, I'm still waiting for the photographs I didn't get. Okay? I love you all. And make the world better. I love you. Bye-bye.